During the spiritual evolution, everyone goes through different phases, each of which has some specific characteristics. By recognizing these characteristics, we can open the path to the higher levels that lead us to perfection. The first stage of spiritual evolution is characterized by ignorance or complete lack of knowledge and information about the nature of spirit and spiritual reality. This is, in general terms, the case of most people in our day, which limit themselves to blindly believing only in what they can perceive with their five senses or mechanistic science. The second stage of spiritual evolution is characterized by a more or less accentuated sensitivity towards other states of consciousness, which can be accidentally produced or induced by specific, traditional methods, such as yoga practice. Sometimes, the awakening of interest in the spiritual aspects of life can occur because of the unblocking of some ineffable inner resonance processes, while reading valuable spiritual texts or thanks to the testimony of a great teacher. Other times, it happens as a result of mystical experiences or through the acute phases of painful existential crises. In other cases, the continued attendance of a group of spiritually elevated people, or the pursuit of more or less conventional therapy, can gradually awaken in the person the beneficial subtle forces, never before imagined. The third stage of spiritual evolution is highlighted by the ardent and continuous search for an authentic spiritual journey. We think only of our object, and something inside us whispers that we are approaching the truth. The readings confirm this feeling shortly thereafter. Then we will seek a master, and sometimes we will throw ourselves into something that the great yogis call a spiritual cocktail, that is a combination of body postures, therapies, esoteric readings, which are more or less mixed with meditation techniques, martial arts, practices such as Tai Chi, shamanistic steps, etc. There are, unfortunately, people who fixate themselves definitively on this level, believing that they have achieved enlightenment and that the method they use is the right way. Included in this category, there are also those who immediately after their first spiritual experience, think they have already realized and have reached some kind of high peaks. As a result, they will tend to stagnate at this level. Others, however, will find themselves at the end of this long journey, their true spiritual master and authentic journey. Only then, the great spiritual adventure will begin for them. The fourth stage of spiritual evolution highlights the persevering momentum, full of aspiration towards an authentic spiritual journey. During this phase, you gradually discover the barriers that prevent true knowledge and gradually learn to dissolve these obstacles. The specific methods that are used in this phase vary depending on the chosen route. They can change at any given time depending on personal spiritual evolution and according to some individual conditions. Moreover, if that person tries to reach the final spiritual stage, he must never interrupt his spiritual practice. In this way, it will progressively extend it to the whole existence of every day. This stage will then persist, remaining practically unaltered in the following stages. The fifth stage of spiritual evolution is characterized by emotional stability and deep inner peace. As the obstacles dissolve and are completely eliminated from the path of our consciousness, corresponding to the identification and control of the intimate origins of our feelings and destructive emotions, here the mental agitation of thoughts decreases and a deep and euphoric peace is established in us. This is an absolutely necessary condition for what will follow, even if there are some spiritual paths that take advantage of all the conflicts that appear in being, using them as direct and immediate means to achieve transcendence. This phase is generally accompanied by a correct and profound understanding of the nature of reality and of the mind. The person now aspires strongly so that this profound and euphoric peace embraces the whole world. In this phase, the capacity to love is greatly amplified. The sixth stage of spiritual evolution concerns the attainment of non-duality. Up to this stage, the human being was often the theater of the manifestation of numerous phenomena, or illusory appearances, such as visions of forms and lights, listening to inner sounds, the perception of some subtle energetic vibration, able to induce of the parapsychological manifestations, the regression in one's previous lives or other human beings with whom one came into contact, etc. A competent spiritual teacher will then help this person to understand that almost all these phenomena are illusory as much as dreams or the common physical universe. In all these experiences, the illusion of the separation between the subject and the perceived object is in fact still alive, sometimes appearing the risk of reinforcing the perpetuation of this illusion of separation. The complete dissolution of this phantom gradually leads to the appearance of a holistic, non-conceptual and ineffable experience. The initial stage of dualistic ignorance is transformed into true divine knowledge, that is, into that state of impersonal presence, in which we extraordinarily realize that there is no longer something to know. Love for all human beings then becomes the divine light, and we are told what has always been in reality. The seventh stage of spiritual evolution marks spiritual liberation. During the preceding phases, the nature of reality was observed in the form of some profound illuminating flash. Now the presence of God or of true knowledge is finally rooted, will remain constant and will never be lost. The relative absolute dichotomy is now outdated. There are no more concepts and conditioning, but only a supreme, boundless and radiant space light. At the same time, we discover astonished that the oceanic love and the all-encompassing knowledge embraces the body without remaining limited in it. We realize that this is the primordial state, which in reality has always existed within us, but which was permanently obscured because of our ignorance. Now we realize that the veil has been completely dissolved. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us for more videos and articles like this.